Let there be fireworks! In previous years, my first video of the year has been a "What did I do during the year" video. And mostly that was about the knitting and the crocheting of the year, but I did so much dyeing in a year too, and we shouldn't forget that. I have amassed this pile of mostly hand-dyed floof, some merino too, just to give an extra pop of color. And this year we are just going to combine everything that we have dyed into one chaotic, magnificent yarn that will be our end of the year / start of the year project. Yes. I am so original. And for that we shall be helped by our good friend Giant, the woolmaker's drumcarder. I have not cleaned it since last time I used it, but that's okay for this project because that's just extra chaos, right? The strategy for this will just be grab a handful of fluff it a little bit out so that it goes nice and smoothly through the drumcarder, and just card. I might do 2 or 3 passes so that everything gets nicely blended and everything, or maybe I might not and just do 1 pass, see how the batt looks. Let's just dive into it. We already have on here some merino, some alpaca and flemish sheep. There is going to be some zwartbles and blue texel in there as well. Maybe I'll also add in some silk, just to have, you know, the broad spectrum of all the fibers that I have used lately. But first, zwartbles. Yeah, I think I do want to pass this through the drumcarder again, because this is like a big blob of one color. That's not really what I want. So we're just again going to separate this batt into handfuls of fluff, fluffing it open and passing it through. Ah yeah, this is a lot more of what I had in mind. Let's make a second one and then spin them together. They look so different, but I like it. This is going to make such an interesting yarn. By the way, friends, if you celebrate Christmas, did you get any fiber-related Christmas goodies? Because I have. My mom got me 2 braids of this blue-faced Leicester roving comb top. I think it's roving. Nice. And also the tiny little Turkish spindle. I'm so happy with this. I almost cried when I received it, because my mom went with me to Dag van de Wol in October, and I walked away from this spindle because it was out of the budget that I had set for myself that day. So when I was buying a fleece, she just went back and bought it for me. I'm still thinking of a video idea to just incorporate his spindle, because I am a little bit obsessed with it. But for now we shall spin on the wheel and spin our New Year's Eve mix. So that was 2024, huh? How has life been treating you in 2024? Just like these batts, I had some light and dark days, because that's mostly how a year goes and how a life goes. So I think that is rather fitting. Now, when it comes to the channel, it is mostly light days. Oh my god, you guys, are we really nearing 7K subscribers right now? Are we really? I mean, on January 1st, 2024, there were 2,800 of you. And now there's nearly 7K? No way that I am this funny. Or interesting. Or entertaining. Well, apparently you're all proving me wrong. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being here in 2025 already. I had hoped, my goal was actually to get to 5K subscribers in 2024. Not 7, but You guys, you smashed it. So naturally my goal for 2025 kind of is to get to 10K. That would be super awesome, super cool. Do you think that would be attainable? Oh no. Yeah. Come here. Come hither. No, it's not wanting. I think that is that alpaca. That alpaca, it's a stubborn alpaca, doesn't want to. There also just is the possibility that I'm creating the ugliest yarn in the world. I might have gone a little bit overboard with this merino blue on this batt. Not really feeling it right now for this single. We'll see how this continues and how it in the end looks when it's plied. Now, even if this turns out to be the ugliest yarn in the world, first off, I am pretty sure that you will all disagree with me because you guys are the most wholesome subscribers, commenters in the land that is YouTube. I look forward to it every week to see and read your comments because they are so wholesome and they warm my heart every time. I also learn so much from you guys. Like even though I am on the internet for almost 3 years with my shenanigans now, I'm still a little bit of an intermediate crafter. And a lot of you guys have more experience than I do, so I do learn a lot from all of your comments. Secondly, even if this is the most ugly yarn in the world, I just wanted to do it. I just followed my nose, followed the joy, and that is what I have been doing mostly with my craft-related shenanigans this year, and I love it, friends. I think maybe in 2022, 2023, I kind of worried a little bit more about what would the algorithm like, what would be a good title, what would, be a little bit clickbaity, if I'm honest. And I have completely let go of that idea in 2024 and just thought, well, what would I want to do? What do I want to make? And just followed my instinct, sometimes coming up with an idea on the spot and just following it. I had so much fun creating and crafting and making videos this year. And maybe that has shown through, and this is why the subscriber number has risen so exponentially. I don't know, I'm just looking for reasons because I still do not fathom that it is possible, that it did. Ta-da! Here we have a first bobbin, a first single of potentially the ugliest yarn in the world. It is just the right amount of chaos though. Let's make a second one. And the second batt that I made, I purposefully went a little bit lighter on that merino blue because already in the batt I thought, oh no, this is so much blue. I'm actually not that much of a blue person, so more of the yellows, like the actual stuff that I dyed myself. And of course I am spinning this in a long draw way because 2024 for me was the year in which I actually discovered long draw and found that I love long draw spinning. I think that was craft-wise the biggest transformation change that I underwent this year. I went from a mostly short forward to now a mostly long draw spinner. I think that's pretty cool though. I would never have imagined that at the start of 2024. Also tell me, when do you think it is about time that I put down my little Christmas tree over here? I do like having it in the background though, so maybe I just might take off the decorations and just leave it there indefinitely? What do you say about that? Ta-da! Our second single is done, and to be honest, it looks a lot more like my jam. This is actually pretty cool yarn. However, this is why you're seeing all the behind the stuff scenes. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I have bit off more than I can chew, and it is now dark outside. And I should be starting making dinner. Also, my water bottle ended up somewhere over there during some part of the day, and I haven't been drinking since then. Not good, don't do that. Anyway, yeah, I bit off more than I could chew. I put too much hay on my fork. I will have to come back, you know, like Saturday morning or Sunday. I had wished to give this a vibe of spanday cozy 1st of January with me, but this will be a two-day video, I think. I don't even know if you care, but that's information that you can now do something with. Good morning, we're back. But we're about to get our butts royally kicked out of the studio because the boys want to make music. So let's move. Jentestronk. Welcome to the lesser light conditions. And this is where we were, two infamously chaotic bobbins that will now be plied together. Yes, yes, yes. With the strong percentage of chaos in both singles of this yarn, there is of course always the possibility that in the end it will just turn out as mud. But that is a consequence I am willing to face for just having fun with it. Now, before we actually finish this yarn and really head on into the new year, let's talk about it. What are my plans? Do I have visions, ideas for the future of this channel in 2025? Yeah, you know, kind of, little bit, but not very specific. I do not have my entire content plan planned out yet. Maybe the first 2 weeks, but all the rest is still free. However, I would like to challenge myself to stop doom scrolling Ravelry in 2025 and use the patterns that I already have in my studio. So, you know, the vintage knitting magazines and some of the knitting books that I have acquired over the years. That is an entire Ravelry library in and of itself that I do not use to its utmost potential. I have in 2024, but also still in 2023, collected a lot of interesting fiber and yarn on my travels, and I'm also looking forward to use that. I have some really colorful sock yarns from Spain, and I have some alpaca and angora fiber from a local fiber animal farm in the south of France. I also bought a Shetland fleece, you know, the stuff of dreams that a lot of you have been raving about during the most recent Tour de Fleece. So it might be that I do not get to it before Tour de Fleece, so that it will become the Tour de Fleece fleece. We'll see whenever I get to it. I also really want to spin more zwartbles. I really want a zwartbles sweater. Yeah, I do. Maybe this will not be finished in 2025 and it might be a 2026 project. I don't actually care when I get it, I just want it. I also really want to do another weaving project. It's just that, you know, putting up a warp is really stupid because it takes so long and I just want to get started. But I want to do another weaving project. I've got so many ideas for weaving projects and I just never get started on them. I should just get started. Somebody come kick my butt to start another weaving project. Please, thank you very much. And what about you? What do you have planned in 2025? Or another question, what is something that you would like to see here in 2025? As I have said multiple times before, I do like getting tons of inspiration from you guys. We're starting the year off with another big boy chungus. This one is 393.4 meters long and 150 grams in weight. Maybe on the viewfinder it is, but in real life it doesn't really look like mud. I mean, there is a lot of gray tones and brown tones going on, and I have a little bit of VM still. But it's not mud. It is very interesting. There are pops of color that draw your eyes towards them. And I like it. I had so much fun just going full on chaos with this, and I cannot wait to see it knit up. For, you know, this is a very marvelous yarn, so it needs to be the spotlight of the project. I'm thinking, but if you have other ideas, please do put them down below in the comments. I'm thinking this would make a great hat. Like, you know, a Musselburgh adjacent pattern. Edge of Twilight again, maybe something else. I think that would be the right project for this yarn. Whoop. Oh, and if you wanted to know if this made a dent at all in my dyed fiber stash, no perceptible dent was made in my fiber stash. More chaos shenanigans right in the future, that's what this is saying. It's also saying I might need to like sort these in color groups or something. I have no actual log of what they were made with. It's not only a stash of chaos floofs, it is also a chaos stash of floofs. I should in 2025 maybe like just sort them out or something. It's maybe a good plan 2025, yeah. But why wait for the rest of 2025 when I can just do it immediately in a rush of whatever has gotten into my brain? And now we have all the yellow and green floofs. Green is in a separate box. In this drawer, these are all the brown floofs. These are all the natural wash floofs, including zwartbles, the alpaca, but not including the blue tassel because that is in that box. Also not including Shangora batts that I carded for a project that I filmed and then didn't finish because those are over there. And that one is the blue floofs, the indigo floofs. Ha! If you ever wonder, Jente, how do you keep your stash moth-free? I do not know. It is chance, I guess, because I do not deserve to have a moth-free stash because this is how I treat it. I want to be better in 2025, but I can promise nothing. So yeah, our first big boy chungus of 2025. And who knows how much more of these big boy chunguses we shall produce in the year 2025. Now that I think of it, it would be like a really fun idea to tally the meters of yarn that I spin in a year. I'm going to start doing that in 2025. And then, is there anything more that needs to be said on this first day of January? I cannot think of anything other than if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, maybe you could take a look at some more spinning shenanigans. Bye!